We're live, Frank. So I'm just going to add other people in. You can stay here if you want to, and then we'll get going and we'll say hello. Let me just save that setting. Just trying to add Facebook in. Good morning, everybody. There you go. So you can see I've got a little helper with me today. You might keep popping in, mightn't you? And you could possibly come and help us with a bracelet because it's a very straightforward make today. So hello to Rachel. She says good morning from a cloudy Barrow. It's been quite a nice weekend, but it has gone quite overcast today, but it is still quite warm. Hopefully we are streaming now on all the channels that we should be. Good morning to Sue. Drop me a comment if you can see me okay and you can hear me okay. And obviously little face here is sneaking in around the door. I'm going to try not to be too distracted today, but as you can see, I'm mumming it and multitasking all at the same time. So I've got a lovely bracelet for you today. I've got 6 lovely colours. Judith says hello, little one. Oh look, we've got a dinosaur as well. It's going to be one of those days, isn't it? Thanks, Frank. Okay, so I've got 6 lovely colours for you today. They will be on 2 colours of findings. We've got the silver and we've got the rhodium as well. But there's lots of lovely colours in your pack. It makes up to 4 bracelets and there's also a 20% discount off as well. So I'll take you over to the website shortly. I will show you what you can choose from. Jan says she loves them. Good morning to Carol. Hello to Camille. She says good morning, Natalie and Frank. So you had a great weekend. I did have a lovely weekend. We've been to visit Scotland in the week. And on Saturday was my friend's 40th birthday, so I went out for that, hence why I'm probably looking a little bit dishevelled this morning. Good morning to Mina, hello to Anastasia. So the bracelets today are really straightforward makes. I think this time of year when, you know, the weather's doing whatever it wants and we might be getting changed, we might start off wearing one outfit and then think, actually, I'll wear that instead. It's nice to be able to make bracelets very quickly that can go with your outfit. Frances? It is going to be a very fun tutorial today, Amina, you're quite right. And people are glad that they're on Facebook as well, which is brilliant. We have had a little fiddle with the settings and it all seems to be working. So there'll be a slight delay going live on Facebook because I have to come into the live and then activate it. Good morning to Sandy. Hello to Lisa. Now, my downward facing camera has been still doing its thing with the sound, so I have put my other one on and hopefully it won't cut us off, but it will be a quick live. What I will do is I'll go through some kind of do's and don'ts with you in terms of bracelet making as well. Good morning, Mummy, I hope you're well. So let's take you over to the website. We are totallybeads.co.uk. Frank, are you in, you out? So if you head over to Totally Beads, you can scroll through to the video tutorial categories here or here, whichever you prefer. And today is the Clio Crackle bracelets. I'm using these gorgeous Crackle beads. So we discounted these for you by 20%. They should be £9.99. They are just £7.99 today. They make 4 bracelets up for you for £7.99, so you can choose from whichever colourways you want to. We've got some on rhodium and we've got some on a silver colourway, so your clasp, your lovely little kind of spacer beads that I'm using and your findings will be in the different coloured plated metals, depending on which one you like. And we've got an aqua, a blue, a green, a grey, a pink green and a pink red. I think I'm going to demo with the pink green today for you because they're to hand, but I'll go in and I'll show you them quickly. So these kits make up 4 bracelets. You can see here we've got this lovely aqua one, and that will be on the silver findings. There's not much of a difference in them. I would say the rhodium just looks like it's been a little bit more patinaed, really. You've got a slightly darker metal. So you can do whatever you want with these. I've just been alternating the beads and the lovely little spacers that we've got in them. And of course, those lovely Crackle beads as well. But you can do these however you want to, and if you'd rather make a necklace up with them as well, you can do that. So a nice quick make. As I say, if you're gifting them to people or you just want something quick and easy to make, these are a good one for you. So if you scroll down, you'll see the products that we're using. I'm using the Iceberg in this kit today, which are 4mm in size. You've got your 6mm clear aqua, so part of them have got beautiful aqua colour, the others are clear, really, really pretty crackle beads. And I'm using the Hatch Rondelles at 6mm as well, with a lovely simple ring 14mm toggle clasp. But again, you can change your clasp up if you want to. If you've got one at home that you prefer, I do like using a toggle, but any clasp would use just as well with this if you wanted to swap that for a lobster, what's the little claw ring type ones called? All thoughts have gone out my head. I am distracted today. Or if you wanted to use a magnetic one, you could do as well. So this is £7.99, makes 4. This one is your aqua colourway. I'll show you them down on the mat as well. We've got the lovely blue one here. And again, if you scroll down, you can see that we're using an antique silver toggle with this, with the antique silver bead. So this is kind of more of your rhodium colourway. We've got the cobalt in 4mm of the glass pearl, and we've got the 6mm clear crackle beads. Francis, could you leave the dinosaur from the door, please, sweetheart? Thank you very much. We've also got a green one. I've done that thing where I've made sure there's enough like grapes and strawberries, all the fruits chopped. He's had bits of chocolate. He's had all the goodies. I said that's got to last you till 11 o'clock. 7 minutes in, and we're by the door with the dinosaur. So this one is gorgeous colour. This one is your green. So you can see here they've got a bit of clear on them, and they've got that lovely crackled green look as well. Again, these are on the kind of rhodium and antique silver findings for you. And I'm using the 4mm moss green. This one is your grey, which is really, really pretty. I'll scroll down so you can see those beads a little bit better. Again, everything's in the same size, it's just a different colour for you. So you can choose which one you like the most, or if you wanted to multi-buy, you could make the most of that 20% discount today. You could make 8 bracelets if you've multi-buyed, if you bought 2 kits, because each one makes 4. And I think, you know, swapping some of these, I think the kind of orangey pink and the blues would look beautiful. Lots of lovely colours that you could mix up. This one here is what I'm going to be demonstrating for you today. It is a pink green, so there's touches of pink on these. I'll show you them down on the mat because you'll see those colours a little bit better. But if you have a look here, we've got like a pinky tone and a green tone to them. I've put them with the teal, and they are on the silver plated findings. Really love these hatched little beads as well. They're shaped a bit like little saucers, but they remind me of like a little ball of yarn. They're really, really cute. And lastly, we've got the pink red, which have got like a lovely kind of orangey tone. They look like they've got kind of glitter running through them as well where they're crackled. So I've put them with the lovely tangerine because I don't often use this colour bead, and I think they look really, really beautiful with those crackled beads. So they are your choices today. They're all £7.99 for a kit that makes up 4. But as I say, if you want to make a necklace with them, I'm sure you'd probably get enough for a necklace and a bracelet if you wanted to do that, and you'd have some findings left over. You could also, you know, multi-strand these if you wanted to kind of mix it up a little bit too. Let me just fix my camera. Yeah, they're a nice, easy one just to play around with, really. So let me stop sharing my screen. I'll say hello to you all while I take you down on the mat, and I will show you the colours that we've got here so you can see them in the flesh. Good morning to alumni. I hope you're well. Camille's roaring and giving me a little dinosaur emoji and says peekaboo Frank. Good morning to Lydia. I hope you're well. Good morning to Anastasia. She's saying, I love a toggle clasp. It's much better if you're by yourself. They're easier to close. They are, yeah. I find them comfortable, and I quite quite like having them as a bit of a statement as well, to be honest. So if I've got a necklace, I might sometimes use my toggle as a bit of a feature. Hannah's in as well. Good morning to Anne. Good morning to Debbie. It's lovely to see all these faces and have so many of you here today. I've still got pop-up windows, so I'm going to try and see if I can get shut of that. I don't know why it comes up and I don't know how to get rid of it. I don't want to see more. I'd like to see less. It's just a pop-up with the news, but there you go. Hey, good morning to Robin. Oh, now it's popped away instead. Lovely. And good morning to Pauline. So it's lovely to see everybody's comments. I did miss you. I know you were there last week, but I couldn't see you. So there's a slight delay on my hand. Going well so far. So we've got the lovely colours for you to choose from. I think they would look lovely mixed as well. I'm loving this one. Is the red pink with the dark blue. I think they look lovely mixed together. I also think the aqua would look lovely with the blue. The grey would go with everything. Lydia says orange is beautiful. I'm not usually one for orange, but actually I really like those colours together. This is the pink green. Sorry, if I move those out the way, you might get a little bit more focus. If I show you the beads for those, you'll be able to see the pink that's coming up in those. So you've got this lovely crackled effect. Kind of gives like little kind of crackled rainbows inside. So you've got lots of lovely shimmer. I'm just pairing those with a 4mm pearl. And then we're adding in these lovely spacers. So they've got this hatch effect, but a nice generous bead hole through them as well. I'll show you them in the rhodium so you can see there's not much difference between the antiqued metal and the silver. There they are. Sorry for rustling in a bag. So you can see here, these are the kind of antiqued metal and this is your silver. So they're exactly the same in terms of size and pattern, but they seem to have a darker kind of inlay to them. So I think they would look particularly nice with any of them really, but if you wanted to pair them alongside with your beads, you can do that. Anastasia says my daughter would love the orange. They are really nice, straightforward bracelets, nice little friendship bracelets. And if you wanted to gift them or gift them to your daughter, that would be, a really nice gift. I've measured these out. The pattern I've done will be 8 inches, so there's going to be enough for 4 8-inch bracelets in your kit. The average size bracelet, if you are gifting them to people, is usually a 7.5 inch. But that's too big for me. So everybody is different. I don't think body size really determines wrist size, but you could put a little extender chain onto these if you wanted to. And it also depends whereabout you like them to sit. I quite like mine sitting up on my wrist, so I tend to make them a little bit smaller. But some people like them where they will roll towards, further down the wrist onto the hand. So everybody's different. It's really easy to adjust the size of these. You're just adding in less beads of the repetition. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to use the tiger tail. I'll talk to you a little bit about the do's and the don'ts, and some tips. I'm going to be using the culottes as well today. The reason I use culottes is because I think they are much easier and I think they give a nice, neat and secure finish. If you aren't using a culotte and you're using a wire guardian instead, you do need to make sure you've got that tension right. I would also suggest a bead or crimp tube and a crimp cover if you're not using the culotte. But all what these do is just take all of that hard work out for you. So you don't need to worry about, your crimp beads and your crimp covers and things like that. This will make sure that all of those little ends of your tiger tail beading thread is neatly tucked away, very secure, and there's no sharp edges. So that's why I love tiger tail. So the tiger tail we use is a 0.45 millimeter. Basically what it is it is a very strong material, because inside of it is made of, I think ours is 7 individual wires, which are kind of woven together, and then they're coated in a nylon, which makes it very, very strong. But also very kind of subtle. You've got that lovely flex with it. It gives a really nice shape to bracelets. This tends to be my go-to. Because I like a stringing project. So if I'm using necklaces or bracelets with the tiger tail, I find it gives a nice shape. You can get some with 19 strands or even 49 strands of wiring. Obviously it will change in terms of the thickness, but also the strength. Now, I've never ever had a problem using this, which I get from Totally Beads, which is usually, as I say, the 0.45 millimeter, and I go with a crimp bead, which will all be included in your kits. You can use crimp tubes as well. I prefer a crimp bead, and I don't use the fold over ones. If I say I wasn't using the culotte, you'd want some crimping pliers. Now these ones are just the micro crimpers, so depending on the size of the crimp bead you have, you might need to change up the crimper you're using. You'll see I just kind of crush mine with a pair of pliers, and that's because I'm using the culotte. But if you weren't using a culotte, you'd want, if you can see, and these are a very old battered pair. The first one is like a little rounded hole. That's what I would press down my crimp in, and that would create my crimp into an oval shape. I would then move it back into the second hole in the plier. You can see there it's kind of got like a half moon type shape. And then I would bring it back into the first one, and I would go around it to kind of make it that rounded bead shape. Because it's got this little end on my culotte, I don't need to do any of that. So yeah, your tiger tail, I think, is a really good one to use for this. You can use it on your spool as well. So if you get it and it comes on your spool, you can keep it on your spool, and it prevents you from wasting it. If you're playing around with the pattern, you might want to start from the middle, and then you might want to add in your like a bead stopper or something if you want to. So as I say, using the culotte, it makes it nice and easy to use, and it's going to prevent anything like of my findings rubbing against the metal. What you tend to want is you want to use a tiger tail which is large enough to fit through the hole in the beads properly, and possibly bring it back through as well. If you're using a really, really heavy bead, then you might want a different tiger tail or beading thread, but you might want to make it, you might need if you struggle to get it through the bead, you might need to go down a size. If you want it a little bit larger, just to stop the beads moving up and down so much, then you can change that accordingly. But for me, the Totally Beads one that we put in your kits is kind of like the Goldilocks size. You can use that for pretty much everything. So all I'm going to do is I am going to keep it on my reel. And then I'll just kind of measure it against my ruler as I go. So if I have a little look at the bracelets, it's very straightforward to make. I've just started off with one of my small 4mm beads, and I quite like to start off with a smaller size bead towards my toggle, but it doesn't really matter. And then I'm going to add in one of my little spacers. So I'm using this little hatch spacer. And you can play around, of course, with your sizing and your pattern. So if you want to lay it out on your desk first and have a little look how you think they would fit together, you can do that. And for these ones, I've literally just been alternating. So I then put on my lovely Crackle bead, and then I put another one of my spacers on, and then the 4mm pearl. So in between each, or either side rather, of each of my beads will be one of those lovely hatched spaces. So I'm just threading that on. If you want to make more of a central point with it, you can. I've got a bit of a curve in my tiger tail this morning, so you can just run that through your finger, because it is wire, so it does kind of hold a bit of shape to it. Anastasia's asking, does the wire come with the kit? Yeah, everything you can see that I'm using here will be on your kit. So what you're going to get is you're going to get 4 crimp beads, so you can double crimp. This is per bracelet, by the way. Obviously, each kit makes 4 bracelets. So you're going to get your crimp beads, which are, I think they're 2.2mm, but on the website we just call them 2mm. So they're very small, but very, very strong. You're going to get your culottes, which you can finish your bracelet or your necklace with. You're going to get all of these beautiful hatched spacer beads. You're going to get your 4mm pearl. You're going to get your crackled beads in whichever colour you've chosen. You're getting your toggle clasps as well, and you're getting your tiger tail. So every single thing that you need for this kit is here for you. I think I've pulled out the wrong toggle there. I don't really think it matters. But for this kit, I am using the shiny silver rather than the antiqued silver. Again, I'll pop them down on my hands so you can see there's a very subtle difference with them. These again seem to have a little bit of darker kind of tones to them. So all I'm doing is just alternating between the crackle beads and the pearls, and I'm just popping in a spacer in between each one. So either side of each of the beads will have those lovely etched spaces. But as I keep saying, you can change up this design. So if you wanted to kind of just finish with the pearls, you can do. If you want to make more of a central focal point with the larger crackle beads in the middle, you can do whatever makes you happy. They're a nice quick project to do. So if you have got little ones that are still home from school, or you're looking after little ones, or you just want to sit and have a little chat with friends and do something quick and easy, maybe over a cuppa. You could have a crafting group or a crafting morning. They are a nice project to make. So really straightforward. I am just alternating between them. And if you were making a necklace, you might want to have those larger crackles kind of in the middle as a little bit of a, larger focal bit at the front. Or you might want the top part of your bracelet just to have them in. You're going to have plenty in your kits today to play around and experiment with. Good morning to Anna. Hope you're okay. So what I will do is I will show you how the difference is if we've got time to, if I was doing it with a culotte, without a culotte and using maybe a wire guardian instead. But I do like using the culotte. I just think it gives a very nice, professional, neat finish. Phoenix is in. She said, woohoo, I caught the live. Hi Nat, how's you? Hubby turned off the alarms today, said it's your birthday and to chill. Is it your birthday today, Phoenix? Happy birthday. Or is it your hubby's birthday? I think it's yours. I hope you're having a lovely day. Apart from being here with me, what have you got planned for the day? You doing anything nice? You've missed the little one and the dinosaur. I'm sure he'll pop in at the end. Anastasia says it's hard to choose, but I'm sure about the orange and the green. I think the orange and the green would look lovely. I think using the orange crackle with those green would look lovely. Happy birthday to you, Phoenix Creations. I hope you have a very, very lovely birthday. We're all sending you lots of happy vibes. And have you got a birthday cake? The important things. I've eaten a lot of cake this weekend. It's been great. So just keeping going with that. And this is why I'm kind of keeping it on my reel as well, because then I can, you know, work to the length that I want quite easily without wasting too much. And I'll show you the different ways as well if you want to bring the thread back through. The holes in the beads, the pearls and the spaces are all a good size to be able to do that. So let me just see how far I've got here. Obviously that toggle and findings is going to add a little bit to it. I'll do a little bit more. As I say, you've got plenty in your kit to make large bracelets or a necklace. But for me, I do tend to adjust the size. Are you okay? Yeah? Are you saying hello again?
Yeah.
I've put my face in the corner so they won't be able to see you. There you go. And then give everybody a wave. All those people looking at you. You going to help me make some bracelets later? Yeah? You're going to work with Mum today?
Yeah.
She's got loads to do.
Can I do one now?
Well, I've barely finished this one, but I'll give you a call in a bit and you can come and do another one with me.
Okay.
Okay, kiss. Thanks. Debbie says hello. So does Camille. Right, let Mummy do this, I won't be long. Okay. Yeah, it's your name. They say hello, Frank. These are all my lovely people. They always call me. These are the people I speak to more than you. They look after me. They keep me happy and keep me making. Everyone's saying hello to you. Right, okay. So let's see. I've started. I think this is going to be more than fine for me by the time I've popped on my findings. Yeah, Phoenix, they do look a little bit like a Celtic knot, the spaces. Thank you. So what I wanted to do, I want to start and finish with the bead, the small pearl, just to kind of...
And look at all the comments.
You want to start and look at all the comments. Okay, you can stay there then. So what I'm going to do, try not to swing on Mummy's chair for me, baby. I'm going to take my culotte. This is how wonderfully easy they are to use. And I'm going to take 2 of my crimp beads. So no one's watching me now. They're all looking at you. So this is my little crimp bead, if you can see it there. And what I'm doing is I do crush it down with my pliers. Now, a lot of people will tell you not to do that because you're just crushing the wire, but I do find that it holds and it makes it very secure. And I always double crimp. If you want to use your crimping tool, you absolutely can do. I'm not going to use my crimping tool because I've only got my micro crimper to hand and they come in 3 different sizes. So you can get the micro one, which is very small, like a normal standard one, and then like a mighty one as well. And it will depend on the size of your crimp. Yeah, dinosaurs. So this crimp is 2.2 millimeters. So I'm just going to slide it right up to the end of the tiger tail. And this way I'm not going to waste any. And then all I'm doing is just putting a little bit of pressure flat on it, just to pinch it down, bringing the next one up and doing the same with that. So I've double crimped. And then sliding the culotte over the top, and the crimp beads will sit inside of that. If you've got any excess tiger tail at the end of that crimp, then you just need to trim it off a little bit. I've only got a tiny bit there, it's not even quite a millimeter. So just slide the culotte over and it will sit inside. Right, you can stay there and tell the ladies and the gentlemen what you can see while I can try and fix my camera.
10,000 dinosaurs.
Loads of dinosaurs.
And 3 dinosaurs.
And 3 dinosaurs.
And
you
1
like
million
your
dinosaurs.
Okay, you do like your dinosaurs, don't you, Frank? Right, let me just fix my camera because it's gone off again. Do apologise. I Camille would like to know where your dinosaur's gone, Frank. Do you want to go and get your dinosaur?
Which dinosaur?
Which one do you want? Do you want to bring in your Spinosaurus?
Mosasaurus.
Mosasaurus. Lovely. Sorry. There we go. I'll get this crimp on before the dinosaur comes in. No.
This is my Mosasaurus.
Lovely. He's big, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Can you go into the living room for me, sweetheart, and I'll call you in a little while.
Okay.
Welcome to Totally Beads. I'm Natalie, this is Frank, and you're beading with dinosaurs.
Any more comments?
Yeah, lots. Everyone's saying how lovely you are and how well behaved you are as well. Okay, go in the living room, sweetheart. Camille says, wow, that's a big dinosaur. Right, okay, so I've put my clot on and my crimp beads are just going to sit in the middle. So I'll close it with my finger just to line them up, and then I will press down and that will close it up. So what that's doing is it makes it look like a little bead. I want to make sure the crimps are inside it nice and secure, and then those two little eyelets will kind of line up nice and neatly, and then I can get my findings in. That is another thing that you will get in your kit. You will also get your jump rings to be able to attach them on to your toggle. And your jump rings are outer diameter 6mm. Okay, what I'm going to do now. Oh, I'm echoing. Sorry. Is this better? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to push my beads up so they're all, that last one is sitting neatly next to that calotte. And what I want to do is I want to put a curve in it. I need to make sure that there is enough wiggle room in my bracelet for my beads to be able to sit nicely. What you'll find is if you hold it up and you put your calotte on the other side, or whatever method of finishing your bracelet or make will be, what you'll find is it puts too much tension on the beads and it doesn't give it the flex it needs to be able to sit nicely. So you do want a little bit of slack, essentially, not enough that you can see the cord is kind of, the beading thread is, you know, visible, but just enough that it's got that nice curve to it. Is the echo still there? I know, Marjorie, the joys of working from home. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my tiger tail. I'm going to leave a few inches though, because I'm going to show you another way that you can finish it off. So what I will do is I will take my calotte and I'm putting it this way up so it's facing outwards. Mina, everybody's saying it's okay now, so I don't know why yours would still be echoing. I don't know what's going on. I know. Thank you, Phoenix. Thank you for being patient with me today. Mummy, well deservedly so, is going off on her travels this afternoon. So she was like, I'll still have them in the morning. I was like, no, you absolutely won't. You'll enjoy your holiday, Mum, and we're doing just fine. Everyone's being fine. Yeah, Camille's saying it's just at Mina's. Okay, thank you so much for being so patient with me. So what I'm doing is I'm just popped my first crimp bead on. Remember, I've created that curve, same as I would if I was making a necklace. I'm just putting the curve in, and then I'm going to pinch down that first crimp bead, and then I'm going to add a second crimp bead on. I always like to double crimp because these do fit nicely. Two will fit nicely inside of the calotte. So all I'm doing is I'm just, now I've got that first one on, I can hold it up if I need to because it's secured the tension in there. Pinching down the last one. And then what you can do with your tiger tail is you can miss the crimp beads and pass it back through the hole in the culotte. So we're just going to give it a little pull up so I can get that back through. And then you can just push it back through your first few beads if you want to. And we kind of want it to finish, if we were to, oh, brilliant. If I do it on the other server, if I do it on the other server, it will just give me the most horrendous sound feedback. I don't know why. I do make sure it's all switched off and then it still comes back on. So there you go. So all you need to do is just push that back through the beads. It will go through your 4mm pearls, it'll go through the spaces, and then you can just trim off. Alternatively, if you don't want to bring it back through, then you can just cut off any of your excess tiger tail. I would always just originally cut a little bit more just so it's easy to get those crimp beads on. Again, I'm going to close it over with my fingers, making my crimp beads just sit inside the culotte, and then give it a little push down again with my pliers just to close it over. And then all I need to do now is add on my jump rings, straighten that up a little bit, and my clasp. So I've got my clasp here. I'm going to take out 2 of my jump rings. And when I'm opening up my jump ring, I'm taking 2 pairs of pliers. I'm going to hold them up so I've got the little gap and the opening in the jump ring there, and I'm just going to give it a little turn towards me. I can then slide that on through the hooks in the culotte and then add on 1/2 of my toggle clasp and then close that up. We want to make sure that we're closing it fully. So what I would usually do is just take it, when I move it away from me, it will click, or if you take it just slightly past the point where those 2 parts of the jump ring meet, when I let go, it should spring back fully closed. And then you've got your lovely bracelet. What's going to happen is by having the culotte and using the culotte, you're going to have enough flexibility in your toggle. You want to be able to make sure that your toggle will move loosely, so it needs to really have enough to hang flat. And by using the culottes, it means you'd be able to get that through really easily, and it's got that nice rounded shape to it. So this probably going to be too small for me now. This will be the perfect size to me because I've made it a bit smaller. I think the more I'm concentrating on getting it on, the harder it is. So that's a nice size for me. It's got enough room to move up and down, and it's just really straightforward, simple, pretty bracelet that can easily be taken off and on, nice and secure, nice and strong. If you were not using the culotte, I'll just go through a few little bits with you quickly. Then what you would usually be doing is you would usually be using your crimp bead or tube, and you would be directly attaching that on to your clasp and bringing it back through. This is where you're going to need enough tension. If this is really too tight, you're not going to have the flexibility for that to move. And I would suggest that you add on like a wire guardian with it, or a wire protector. So I've got one here, but I've got it in the gold. So what I would do, and you can see just by having the tiger tail, it creates that kind of flex in the wire. So I would put my crimp bead on. I would then put my wire guardian on and bring it back through the hole in the wire guardian. I would then put my toggle or whatever clasp I'm using on, and then bring the other end back through, making sure that the tiger tail or beading thread is sitting inside the wire guardian. I would then crimp my bead. Now I tend to just use it flat, but as I say, use your crimpers if you've got them. I think if I use my crimpers, these crimps are too small because it's the micro one, but you would put it in the first hole in your wire crimps, and that would make it an oval shape. Then you would pop it in the second hole at like the one further back, and that would make it kind of a half moon shape. And then you'd put it back into the front one, and you would be turning it round to kind of create that rounded shape on your crimp. You would then, I would suggest, need to have a I haven't got one to hand, I don't think. Oh yeah, I do. A crimp cover. So the crimp cover would go over excuse me, your crimp bead or your crimp tube. It looks like a little Pac-Man. So I've used different colour bindings so you can see it inside. And then you would need to use your chain nose pliers to close it over. And then you would need to kind of, you can't do this in one go. You need to kind of rotate it and bend it in from a few different angles just to get that to close over and to look like a bead. And it does give a professional finish to your jewellery, but in terms of how many components you need and how many steps you need to do to create that kind of finish and look, again, making sure the tension is right by using that wire guardian, that will create that tension in your clasp, so you've got that movement. But for all of those components that you would need and that extra time, that is why I love using a culotte, because it's done all for you. You've got that secure loop to attach to your jump ring, to your clasp, and it gives you all the movement that you need, all the security and the sturdiness you need, and it gives that same professional finish and look that you've got there. So to recap very quickly, I'll take you back onto the website and show you the colours that we've got for you today, because I've got a tiny dancer who's getting a little bit impatient. Phoenix said the green handled jaw and crimp pliers are much better than those blue ones. It makes it a lot easier to do. It depends on the crimps that you're using and the tiger tail you're using, Phoenix. Your crimps will have, let's say this one is a micro crimper, so it will be different sizes. You can't comment, you can just say hello. Okay, so if we take you back onto the Totally Beads website, this is the Clio Crackle bracelets. We've got 6 different colours for you today. You've got the aqua, the blue, the green, the grey, the green, pink, and the pink red. So the pink reds with the gorgeous tangerine coloured pearls. You've got the pink green with the, is it moss? No, teal. Have a little look in there. So you, in each of your kits, you'll get 4mm glass pearl rounds. You'll get 6mm crackle beads that come in lovely colours. All the bits, all the bindings that you need in the tiger tail. We've got 20% off discount for you today. So instead of £9.99, they're just £7.99. And each kit will make up 4 pieces of bracelets, or if you want, you can have a necklace instead. Yeah, another dinosaur. Thank you so much for being with me today. Look at all those people looking at you. Yeah, I'm going to say goodbye and give them away.
Bye.
Okay, thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to be back with you on Friday, minus Frank, minus the dinosaurs, with lots of lovely
Am I
beading
coming?
makes. No, you'll be at school. Take care, everyone. I'll see you soon. Have a lovely day. Bye now.